just late in the atmosphere, a casual affair.
High, stay high. You're clear. Fit your mark. Get better. Hold your line. Stay up high. White flag. Come on, dig, driver.
So this year in NASCAR Heat 3, we spent a lot of time working on the AI. We made the top difficulty levels even more difficult. These AI cars will challenge you. If you give them an inch, they'll take it from you. The pitting experience should be much more realistic this year. So the handling of the cars is more refined. We are aware that if we make every AI car wreck when you tap them, then it would just be a wreck fest, and that wouldn't be fun. But we were able to tighten up like your car's handling model as well, so you're not going to be quite as loosey-goosey as you might have been when you touched that car as you were in years past. We've been able to get more out of our graphics engine to make it more realistic than it ever has. We realize that the garage feature that we have in the game, which is back, but there are a lot of knobs and whistles and gadgets, just a lot to take in. So what we did is we created 9 new pre-setups for our players.
I love that we have those options there for the players that really want to get into the nuts and bolts of how these cars handles. But if you don't, those pre-built setups are so much fun.
Always consider when you're going to a racetrack, especially for the first time, is build your race car with a very stable setup. So you can get out there and you can get some laps underneath your belt, and then you can start to tune on your race car.
NASCAR Heat 3 does have the look-around cam and look-back camera.
High, clear outside. Clear all around.
One of the biggest things to being a good NASCAR driver is understanding when to brake coming into the turns. Practice mode has been enhanced by the addition of a racing light. What it is just tells you the optimal path to take at each track, and then it also updates real time based on how fast you're going.
If you're tight, sometimes you gotta use the throttle to make it turn, or whatever situation you're in, you can definitely make it work.
It really does help you understand tracks that maybe you've had difficulties with, or even the tracks that are new this year. Stories mode basically is before each race starts, something that might happen in real life will happen to other drivers in the game. You might see something like a driver has failed inspection and got sent to the back of the pack, or you might just see something like, well, this guy's the one who's really hot this weekend and he qualified pole. We brought back rivalries that we introduced in NASCAR Heat 2. We refined it a great deal, and we put more emphasis on the presentation of it. If you're nice enough to somebody, they will become your friend, and of course, that's how they'll treat you when you're out on the track. If you tick somebody off, they might give you a little nudge when you're out there as well. After you come out of a race, you'll see social media messages from these drivers saying, hey, it was a great race, or you really ticked me off out there. And you have the opportunity to either compliment them or insult them. It gives you more control of who are your friends and who are your enemies out on the track. We're gonna have a bunch of downloadable content again. After the game is launched, these teams continue to run paint schemes, and we offer it as DLC packs. We also have the NASCAR Heat Hot Pass, which gives you access to any DLC content that we put out from the day the game launches all the way through December.
All clear. Side to side. Hold this line. Got all the room you need. Couple more turns.
So what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another NASCAR Heat 3 video. This video is very quick, so I'm going to try talking as fast as possible. So it's been a whole minute since we had a video, but this video kind of covers a lot of things that we've been hoping to hear and confirmed. So one of those is going to be the difficulty. They have bumped up the difficulty. They start talking about that here in the very beginning, how they've made it better, how they made the car physics a little bit better. Already from Heat Evolution to Heat 2, you can immediately tell the physics were way better, obviously. So hopefully they keep reiterating on that a little bit. You see us kind of bump into these guys a little bit here, so you see how they do kind of still bounce off a little bit, but it doesn't look nearly as bad. We see the cars, the dirt track cars, kind of whipping it through the dirt course. All looks good, all looks good. Hopefully, the thing that I really hope is better is going to be the apron situation, which is pretty bad. So in Heat 2, there's certain tracks where if you just nibble the apron just a tad, I mean, you're just immediately, you're around, and it's shitty. You could be riding around in online mode, you know, everybody gets really aggressive, they're really digging, you can just barely tap that apron, man, and you're around quick, and it sucks. So hopefully that's something that they fix in the game as far as physics go. You know, they say they don't want to be a simulation game, but they do have a simulation mode on their games. I'm not sure if they will in NASCAR Heat 2 or not. I like to have that option to make it a little bit more realistic. But of course, they don't want it too much like a simulation where you barely tap the AI and they go spinning and they go crazy. But they do want it more to where the simulation mode more affects your car, to how it feels and things like that, which is very important when you're using a wheel or even if you're using a controller as well. So as we kind of go through, as I get caught up with the video, because it's very short, very compact, they start talking about setups now. So before, and with this game as well, as you go through your setups, you can make it very in-depth. If you're doing league races, things like that, you have to be pretty in-depth. You'll just get blown away with just a default setup. So what they did is where they kept, you know, the actual garage mode, what you can do, and they also put in these new default modes. So instead of having just one default setup, if you're online or anything like that, they have 9 pre-setups that you could do, from stable all the way to really loosey-goosey, as he says. So that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see if that's just going to be a career mode, or if you can actually race in online mode, and whenever you go into a default lobby, you can pick from these 9 preset setups. That'd be pretty badass if you can do that. Not confirmed again, but if you can, pretty damn good idea. So they show us going through here. Here's the setup screen that we talked about, different things. So pretty neat. I hope they do that. One thing that they did show there was a little ticker going across the top. And I'm going to go, oh, see, right there. So we see at the top, as far as we're talking about, you know, tickers go at the top. So we used to see these in some of the older games that we had. It shows a little lineup at the top. So not sure if it's just cars rolling out or what, or if it's actually going to have updated lap times with practice sessions, things like that. I hardly doubt that this is going to be in-game. As you're racing, it's going to have a ticker up at the top. We haven't seen that kind of footage yet. So I'm curious if this will be or not. It'd be cool to see if they had different lap times up there, their qualifying times, where they're starting, things like that. We do see our little nationwide symbol up there at the top right, and our guys looking in there in the window net. So pretty cool stuff. A little bit of more details have been put into the actual car themselves, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the ticker, pretty cool thing, something we haven't seen before, so a new feature that they added, so pretty neat. So they've added some options with the whole setup, so we talked about that, talked about physics, difficulty. Hopefully those are more increased than they say they are. They keep having this difficulty meter of 105, so, you know, hopefully they just make the thing harder. I mean, just way harder. The hardcore people, we really need that. We just need it to just be brutal. That's what we really need. And we see here, hallelujah, we got a 360 cam. That's one of the things that I've heard people complaining a lot about, is the 360 cam. 360 cam, victory burnouts, and the track map are 3 of the big things I hear people talk about a lot. So that 360 cam, big deal. I love the hell out of that. So we see here also the practice line. This isn't something that is new to games per se, but it is new to the NASCAR Heat series, the new series at least. So it is cool for like new players to have that, at least if they're new to the track. They can kind of see where their braking zones are at, what the preferred line is. So pretty cool stuff. Glad to see it, as we've seen the cars just a second ago go through the road course. And a new thing now is this whole stories thing. Pretty cool. So with the whole stories thing, it's pretty cool. We've seen it in games past, but you'll be sitting on pit road. They have commentation over it, and they say, hey, you know, Billy Bob Thornton, he's doing good, looking great. This guy, he's looking pretty shit. He's not going to be good. As we see with Harrison Rhodes here, he's been struggling all weekend. You could see by the line of cars in front of him, he started pretty far back. So it says, let's see if this team can turn it around. So it's just basic notes like that. So it'll be cool to see more things like that going forward. I tell you what I do really like, though, is that while they're on their pace laps getting ready to go green, they're showing all this stuff. So you see the other cars kind of back and forth with them going around the track. You see all the sights and sounds. So I think that's a pretty neat touch. It's better than them just sitting on pit road, but I think this is really cool. Again, this is a new thing that they're doing. So a lot of people might not like it, but they're building on what they previously had. If you compare what this game is going to be compared to Heat Evolution, I mean, it's just above and beyond what we could, you know, really dream of at that time with Heat Evolution. So it's not something that everybody wanted per se, but it's something new, it's something fresh, and it's something that I think most people are going to like. So, you know, there's a lot of things that a lot of people give them crap for about adding, you know, things like victory burnouts, things like trap map, or things like the 360 cam, which they've added. And victory burnouts, I heard a little rumor that they are going to be in the game, but nobody's come in and confirmed it. Well, kind of, it's kind of hard to explain, but we haven't actually seen gameplay of people actually doing burnouts. But so it's just things like that. So, you know, really, I could see there's a lot of things we need to complain about, but at the end of the day, man, they're making huge strides with this game. I mean, huge. I mean, the first game we had one series. Now we have 4, and we have a shit ton more tracks, and they've added a bunch of new features to the game. So I mean, life's pretty good. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the whole rival system. So if you remember before in Heat 2, something's going to be pretty shit. You'll be on super speedways. If you have a rival next to you, they'll run you straight into the wall, straight into the grass. They did not care about your life at all, man. This game, you see there's different meters. There's not just, I hate you, I want to kill you, and I love you, marry me. There's things in between, like different kindnesses. You know, you can get a little bromance going on with somebody. They have the social media feeds going again. You can actually compliment and insult people. You could say, you know, hey, thank you, buddy, for racing me good. Or, hey, thank you for racing me good. I still want to kill your dog. So there's different things you can go through and say. Not literally like that, but it's just basic, like compliment and insult. So we see different layouts. They start talking about the Hot Pass, things like that. He starts going through and mentioning that there's going to be DLC content with the Hot Pass. So basically, if you get the Hot Pass, everything from when the game's released on September 7th through December will be included with the Hot Pass, of course. You can expect them to roll out the 2019 update, you know, earlier in the year, which will not be included with the Hot Pass, unfortunately, which I wish they did. I wish they'd do a whole season pass, but with them releasing the game and the last third of the season, I mean, there's your season pass from that season's end. So it's alright. We pretty much expected this, so nothing new here. There will be new DLC with different paint schemes, things like that. I'm not sure if we can expect much more besides paint schemes. Maybe they'll add the new spotters again. Maybe there'll be new challenges, but I probably wouldn't expect much more than that at this point. So there is one shot that I'm really excited about. It's not this shot, but I'm going to go back just a couple frames before this and show you one that really just gets me fired up. So I don't know if this guy's wrecking. I don't know if he's just having a great time, but you see, I'm actually going to assume he's probably wrecking. Maybe, but if you look at this shot, this car's whipped. I mean, he's whipped sideways hard. One thing that makes you think he's probably wrecking, maybe, I don't know who's, you know, driving or what, but usually if you're in this kind of situation, turning like that, your wheels will be turned in the direction that you're going, not turned straight, and the corner's this way. So maybe I'm overthinking this, but I love seeing this car whipped like this. Maybe it's a little bit too far for dirt racing. That is, you know, you're pretty much looking at the infield at that point, but hopefully with the dirt series, man, you can actually whip that sucker, and hopefully it's beneficial to you. I know on a lot of these tracks they probably won't. Maybe on a lot of the more bank tracks they won't, but I hope on a lot of these tracks you can actually work the grooves better. It'd be cool to see the Highline come in. I mean, Eldora, you can kind of do it, but if you know how to work that track good, man, you really don't need the Highline. If you just apex the corner right, you can stay wide open and just, you know, whip everybody. So it'd be cool to see, you know, this game really incorporate the dirt track physics a little bit better. So excuse me while I rant for a minute. That's the end of as far as the new content goes. So I'm going to do a little rant really quick. So with everything that they're doing, what we've seen so far, the career mode, huge ramp up. I mean, this is going to be badass. You can actually use your money. You know, that's amazing, unheard of. Even though they did in Heat Evolution, you can kind of see the groundwork, what they wanted to do in Heat Evolution. They took a step back, obviously, with Heat 2 whenever they went back and added all the series in, so I'm not complaining on that. If they just took it away and didn't add anything else, I've been pretty pissed. But now we have all the new series, and they're adding this new career mode in where you can actually own your own team, build up different chassis, engines, things like that, and really just make it more realistic, man. And that is badass. You can upgrade your whole facility. So it's really giving me that NASCAR Thunder 2004 feel, which is literally one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe more 2005 Chase for the Cup, where you have your multiple teams and you can race for them and stuff like that. So this whole thing, this whole scenario is good. I mean, it's all good news. I know there's going to be people that are going to, you know, complain and moan and whine and cry about things. They can go to iRacing. You know, I could really care less. But I think we really need to be thankful for what these guys are doing. They have a small budget. They don't have the largest team in the world. They don't got EA kind of funding. And with NASCAR the way it is now, with, you know, the ratings and stuff declining the way it is, I think we're lucky at all to have a game of this caliber out right now. So these guys they're not new, but it's their third game. You know, a lot of games took a damn long time, a few iterations to become even anything. So for us to have just our third game out, and this game looks pretty damn legit, I'm pretty impressed with this, guys. So I mean, we need to give them a chance. A lot of people, I see so much complaints on these guys, it's unreal. So I really think we just need to give them a chance, man, and just let them continue what they're doing. I think we need to give them, you know, I really think we need to give them constructive criticism for sure. We don't just need to go, you know, stereo quiet and stop talking to them and tell them what we want and things like that. But I don't think we need to just absolutely rake them over the coals every time we see something that, you know, that we don't like, it that the flag man doesn't wave the right colored flag or something. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I see is just petty BS, man, that nobody really cares about, and you're just giving them a hard time, just give them a hard time. I mean, that stuff, that petty stuff will eventually come. As long as they're banging out some of this more important stuff, man, I'm happy with it. I mean, I know I am. A lot of people out there might not be, but I mean, obviously, it doesn't take, you know, somebody too much stuff up here to realize they're doing good by their word on this game. They've improved year over year, obviously, and they're making pretty big strides year over year. I mean, you cannot say that at least. So, I want to thank you guys for your time for watching this video today. Oh, I'm sure I'll have a couple more out. I'm not a big fan of their marketing campaign this go around. I mean, we barely got any damn thing for information up to like this last month. And that was painful, man. I mean, absolutely painful. I know there's a couple different YouTube guys going out there, and they're going to be going out to 704 Games, their studio and stuff, and actually checking the game out hands-on in person. So that's pretty cool. I think they should keep up with that. So, pretty cool stuff. Again, I hope we get a lot more content before the game gets released. I hope we actually get to see somebody run the game live, do a live stream. That would help out a ton. But anyway, we got 3 more weeks before this game comes out. Super stoked. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll be doing a bunch of live streams for NASCAR Heat 2 and NASCAR Heat 3 when this game comes out on Twitch. Probably some more stuff on YouTube live stream as well. You can follow me on YouTube and Twitch at Pass the Mic. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jedi Stafford. Yeah, Pass the Mic was pretty hard to get on those social media platforms. So, thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one.